All right, so you ready to just crush that import-export specialist interview?
Yeah.
We are diving deep into all the world of office machinery and equipment today,
Right.
and we're going to give you all the know-how to really impress those hiring managers.
Absolutely.
Think of this as like your cheat sheet
Uh-huh.
to understanding what they're looking for with some insightful tips on how to showcase your expertise.
Yeah.
We've got career guides, we've got sample interview questions,
Okay.
and we're even going to take a look at how AI can give you an extra edge.
Cool.
So,
That's a dynamic field for sure.
yeah.
You're not just buying and selling. You're orchestrating this whole movement of goods across borders, making sure everything's compliant, you know, customs, regulations, documentation, like the whole shebang.
Okay, let's unpack this.
All right.
First up, what does an import-export specialist actually do?
Yeah.
Our career guide paints a pretty exciting picture.
It does. It does. So think of it as like being the conductor of this intricate global orchestra.
Huh?
You're managing suppliers, you are negotiating contracts, you are coordinating shipments, all while making sure everything is compliant with international trade regulations.
Hmm.
It's a fast-paced role. It demands a keen eye for detail and a real knack for problem solving.
Sounds like it's not for the faint of heart.
Oh,
But for those who thrive on challenge
yeah,
and have a passion for global trade, this could be an incredibly rewarding career.
absolutely.
Speaking of passion, let's dive into some of those interview questions that you're likely to face.
Oh, okay.
First up, a classic. How did you become interested in the import-export field?
Oh, yeah, this is your chance to let your enthusiasm shine through.
Yeah.
They're not just looking for a timeline of your career. They want to understand what sparked your interest in this field. Was it a study abroad experience? Was it a fascination with international business? Maybe even a family connection to global trade?
Right.
Connect the dots for them?
So it's about going beyond that surface level and revealing that genuine spark.
Exactly.
What about potential follow-up questions? So let's say they ask, what aspects of import-export particularly intrigue you? What would be a great way to approach that?
So that's where you showcase your knowledge. You mentioned specific areas that pique your interest, like the complexity of customs regulations,
Okay.
the challenge of navigating international logistics, maybe even the satisfaction of seeing a product that you helped import make its way to consumers.
I like that.
Yeah,
Okay, so passion and knowledge are key.
for sure.
Now let's tackle a question that's sure to come up. How do you ensure compliance with international trade regulations?
Yeah, compliance is critical in this role, and they want to know that you take it seriously.
Mm-hmm.
This is your chance to demonstrate your meticulousness and your proactive approach to staying informed. Mention specific strategies that you've used, like setting up systems to track regulatory updates, attending industry workshops, or even building strong relationships with customs officials.
So it's not just about knowing the rules.
Yeah.
It's about having systems in place to stay ahead of the game.
Absolutely.
Okay, what about this one?
Huh?
Can you give me an example of a time you identified a potential compliance issue and what steps you took to address it?
Mm-hmm.
So it sounds like they're looking for a real-life example of your problem-solving skills.
Exactly. They want to see how you handle those tricky situations.
Hmm.
Think of a time when you spotted a potential compliance issue, whether it was a labeling error, a missing document,
All right.
discrepancy in a shipment.
Yeah.
Walk them through the steps you took to investigate,
Okay.
correct the issue, and then prevent it from happening again.
That's a great way to showcase your attention to detail and your proactive approach.
Absolutely.
Now let's shift gears to a question that's all about your negotiation skills.
Okay.
Can you describe your experience with negotiating contracts with overseas suppliers?
Oh, this is your time to shine if you've got those negotiation chops.
Right.
Highlight your ability to build rapport, to find common ground, secure favorable terms, all while maintaining those positive relationships.
Yeah.
Remember, international negotiations, they're often about building long-term partnerships, not just getting the best deal in the short term.
So it's a delicate balance between assertiveness and diplomacy.
Yeah.
What are some common pitfalls to avoid when answering this question?
Okay. Definitely avoid coming across as aggressive or boastful.
Okay.
You don't want to give the impression that you're only interested in winning at all costs.
Right.
Instead, focus on your ability to understand different perspectives.
Mm-hmm.
Find mutually beneficial solutions.
Okay.
Maintain strong communication throughout the process.
Got it. Collaboration over confrontation.
Exactly.
Now let's consider a potential follow-up. How do you approach cultural differences when negotiating with overseas suppliers? This seems particularly relevant in that global import-export landscape.
It is. This question is all about demonstrating your cultural sensitivity, your willingness to learn and adapt, highlight your awareness of cultural nuances, your ability to research and understand different business etiquette, and your commitment to building trust and rapport across cultures. It might even be helpful to share a specific example of how you've successfully navigated a cross-cultural negotiation.
Great advice. So cultural awareness and adaptability are crucial in this role.
Absolutely.
Okay. Next up is a question that gets to the heart of the import-export process.
Right.
How do you manage logistics and transportation for international shipments?
Oh, this one's all about demonstrating your understanding of the intricate dance of moving goods across borders.
Right.
They're looking for somebody who can coordinate carriers, manage documentation, track shipments, and ensure timely delivery. This is where you can highlight your experience with specific logistics software or platforms, your knowledge of Incoterms, your ability to troubleshoot transportation challenges.
Sounds like it takes a lot of organization and attention to detail.
It does.
Any tips on how to make my answer stand out for this question?
Oh, absolutely. Don't just list the tasks you've done. Instead, bring your experience to life with a compelling example.
Okay.
Describe a time when you successfully optimized a shipping route or resolved a complex customs delay or implemented a new system that improved efficiency. This will show them that you're not just a follower, you're a problem solver who takes initiative.
Great point. Show them you can handle those logistical challenges. Now, let's prepare for a potential follow-up.
Okay.
Have you ever had to deal with a major shipping delay? How did you handle it?
Ooh, this is a classic behavioral question designed to assess your problem-solving skills and your ability to think on your feet.
Okay.
Be prepared with a specific example outlining the cause of that delay, the steps you took to mitigate the impact, how you communicated with stakeholders, and the ultimate outcome.
Okay, so it's all about demonstrating that you can stay calm under pressure, think critically, and find solutions even when things don't go according to plan. Let's move on to question number 5. How do you manage risk in international transactions?
Okay.
This one sounds like it requires a strategic mindset.
Absolutely. International transactions come with inherent risks, financial, regulatory, logistical.
Right.
And they want to know that you're aware of these and have strategies to mitigate them. Talk about different types of risks that you've encountered and the specific steps you've taken to minimize their impact.
So being proactive and thinking ahead are essential. Any tips on structuring my answer to this question?
Start by outlining the types of risks that you're familiar with.
Okay.
Then delve into specific strategies you've used, such as conducting due diligence on suppliers, securing appropriate insurance, diversifying shipping routes, or implementing robust payment security measures. You could even touch on your knowledge of international payment methods and their associated risks.
Okay, so it's about being well-informed, prepared, and always looking for ways to minimize those potential pitfalls. Now, let's be ready for a potential follow-up. Can you give me an example of a time you identified and mitigated a potential risk in an international transaction?
Okay.
This is another chance to showcase those real-world problem-solving skills.
Exactly. Choose an example that highlights your analytical skills and your ability to implement effective risk management strategies. Walk them through the situation, emphasizing your thought process. The actions you took and the positive outcome that you achieved this will demonstrate that you're not just talking about risk management, you've lived it.
You've been there.
Exactly.
Great advice. Now let's dive into a question that's all about staying ahead of the curve.
Okay.
How do you stay up to date with changes in international trade regulations? This one seems like a constant challenge in this ever-evolving global landscape.
It definitely is. Regulations are constantly evolving.
Yeah.
And they want to know that you're committed to staying informed. This is your chance to showcase your proactive approach to professional development and your dedication to remaining current in this dynamic field.
Okay, so how do I demonstrate that? What specific examples can I share?
Think about the resources and strategies you use to stay informed. Do you subscribe to industry publications or newsletters? Do you attend workshops or webinars?
Right.
Are you a member of any professional organizations that provide regulatory updates? Highlight these activities and explain how they help you stay abreast of the latest changes.
It sounds like it's all about being a lifelong learner in this field.
It is.
Now let's be ready for a potential follow-up. Can you tell me about a recent change in international trade regulations that impacted your work and how you adapted to it?
Okay.
This one really puts your knowledge to the test.
Absolutely. Be prepared to discuss a specific regulatory change that affected your work. Explain the change, its implications, and the steps you took to ensure compliance and adjust your processes.
Okay.
This shows them you're not just passively reading about changes, you're actively adapting to them.
Great point. So stay curious, stay informed, and be ready to adapt.
For sure.
Now, before we wrap up this part of our deep dive, I want to touch on something that can give you a real advantage in your interview preparation.
Okay.
RoleCatcher's AI features.
Oh, that's right. RoleCatcher can be an invaluable tool for tailoring your answers to specific job roles.
Okay.
Imagine having an AI co-pilot that analyzes the job description, highlights the skills they're looking for,
Yeah.
and even provides feedback on your answers to help you refine your approach. That's exactly what RoleCatcher does.
Okay, that sounds incredible, but how exactly does that work? Can
You give us an example?
Sure. Let's say you're applying for a role that emphasizes experience with a specific type of office equipment or software.
Okay.
RoleCatcher's AI can identify those keywords in the job description, suggest relevant examples from your experience to highlight in your answers. It can also analyze your responses,
Right.
identifying areas for improvement, and even providing suggestions for stronger wording or phrasing.
Wow. So it's like having a personalized interview coach right at your fingertips. That's a game changer. It really is. And the best part is you can practice your answers through video and receive AI-powered feedback on your delivery, ensuring that you're coming across confident and engaging.
Okay, so we've covered a lot of ground in this first part of our deep dive.
We have.
We've explored the role of an import-export specialist.
Yeah.
Delved into some of the toughest interview questions you might face.
Yeah.
And even discovered how AI can give you that extra edge in your preparation.
Absolutely.
But we're not done yet.
No, we're not. Welcome back to our deep dive into the world of import-export specialists. We are dissecting those interview questions, giving you the tools and strategies to really stand out.
And we're not shying away from the tough ones.
Nope.
Remember, thorough preparation is your key to success. So let's jump right back in with question number 7.
All right.
Can you describe a time when you had to resolve a dispute with an international supplier?
Ooh, this is a chance to demonstrate your diplomacy, your ability to bridge cultural differences, and your commitment to finding solutions that work for everyone involved. Remember, international business is all about building and maintaining strong relationships.
So it's not about pointing fingers or proving who's right.
No.
It's about navigating those tricky situations with grace and professionalism.
Yeah.
What kind of situation would make for a compelling answer here?
So think back to a time when you face a real challenge with an overseas supplier.
Okay.
Maybe a shipment was delayed, a product didn't meet specifications, or a payment issue arose. Choose a scenario that highlights your communication skills, your ability to stay calm under pressure,
Okay.
and your talent for finding creative solutions.
Okay, so paint a vivid picture of the challenge,
Yeah,
but then focus on your approach to resolving it.
right.
What steps did you take to understand the supplier's perspective? How did you negotiate a resolution?
Exactly. And don't forget to mention the outcome. Were you able to salvage the relationship? Did you find a win-win solution? Did you learn something valuable from the experience the interviewer wants to see, that you can handle these situations effectively and maintain those crucial international partnerships?
Got it. Diplomacy and problem solving in action.
Yeah.
Now, on to question number 8. How do you ensure efficient operations in an import-export business?
Okay.
This one seems to be all about process and optimization.
Absolutely. They're looking for someone who understands that efficiency is key in this fast-paced global environment.
Right.
Think about the systems, the strategies, and the tools you use to streamline workflows, minimize errors, and maximize productivity.
So being organized, detail-oriented, and always looking for ways to improve is essential.
Precisely. This is where you can really showcase your expertise and passion for process improvement.
Okay.
Share examples of how you've used technology to your advantage. Have you implemented any inventory management software or tracking systems to monitor shipments in real time? Have you found ways to automate tasks to reduce manual errors and improve accuracy?
Those are great examples.
Yeah.
It's all about demonstrating your understanding of how to make those complex import-export operations run smoothly.
Yeah.
Now let's shift gears to question number 9.
Okay.
How do you manage relationships with international suppliers and customers? This one seems to emphasize the human element of the role.
It does. Building and nurturing strong relationships is crucial in international business. It's not just about moving goods. It's about building trust and fostering strong connections across borders. The interviewer wants to see if you have the cultural sensitivity, the communication skills,
Right.
and the interpersonal savvy to cultivate those relationships and make them thrive.
Okay, so it's about more than just being polite and exchanging emails.
Oh, yeah.
It's about understanding cultural nuances, communicating effectively across languages and time zones, and building genuine rapport with people from diverse backgrounds.
Share examples of how you've adapted your communication style to different cultures, how you've navigated challenging language barriers, or how you've gone the extra mile to build trust with your international counterparts. Maybe you learn a few key phrases in another language.
Right.
Or perhaps you took the time to understand the cultural customs and business etiquette of a particular region.
Those are great examples. It shows that you're not just aware of cultural differences, you're actively working to bridge them.
Yeah.
Now, for the final question on our list,
Okay.
can you describe a time when you had to make a difficult decision in an import-export operation?
Ooh.
This one sounds like a real test of your judgment and decision-making skills.
It is. They want to see if you can handle pressure, weigh different options, and make tough calls that align with the company's best interests.
Okay.
Think of a time when you faced a real dilemma. Maybe a shipment was delayed, a supplier went bankrupt, or a major regulatory change threw a wrench in your plans.
Okay, so choose a situation that really put your decision-making skills to the test, but then walk them through your process. What factors did you consider? How did you gather information? Did you seek input from others?
Yeah.
How did you weigh the risks and benefits of different options?
Exactly, and be prepared to explain why you ultimately made the decision that you did.
Okay.
The interviewer wants to see your reasoning, your ability to think strategically, and your confidence in making those tough calls even when there's no easy answer.
So demonstrate your analytical skills, your strategic thinking, and your ability to make those high-stakes decisions.
For sure.
We've covered a lot of ground with these interview questions, but practice makes perfect.
Absolutely. Rehearse your answers, anticipate follow-up questions, and familiarize yourself with the STAR method. That's situation, task, action, and result.
Okay.
To structure your responses effectively, it's a great way to keep your answers concise, relevant, and impactful.
The STAR method is a fantastic tool for keeping those answers organized and on point. Now, we've talked a lot about interview questions, but there's another powerful tool that can help you stand out from the competition. RoleCatcher's AI features.
That's right. RoleCatcher's AI can analyze specific job descriptions, pinpoint the skills that employers are looking for, and even help you tailor your answers to match those requirements perfectly.
It's like having a personalized interview coach in your pocket.
It is.
Now, before we wrap up this segment, let's touch on something we mentioned earlier.
Okay.
The importance of connecting those interview questions back to the core abilities outlined in the career guide.
Absolutely. Remember those abilities like active listening, critical thinking, strong communication skills, problem solving, attention to detail, and cultural sensitivity. These are the foundation of success in this role, and they should be woven into your answers whenever possible.
So as you're preparing your responses, think about how you can demonstrate those core abilities in action. Show them that you're not just knowledgeable about import-export, but you have the skills and mindset to excel in this dynamic field.
Exactly. Now, in our final segment, we'll shift gears and explore a crucial aspect of career development for import-export specialists, navigating those career stages and building a fulfilling long-term career path.
Welcome back.
Oh.
We've been prepping you for that import-export specialist interview, and now it's time to zoom out and look at the big picture.
Okay.
We've covered how to tackle those tough questions.
Right.
But what about building a lasting career in this field?
Yeah, that's where the career stages section in our guide really shines. It maps out how your role could evolve over time, starting from entry level and working up to those coveted senior specialist positions.
Okay, I'm all ears. Let's start at the beginning. What can someone expect in those first steps as an entry-level import-export specialist?
So think of it as your initiation into the world of global trade.
Okay.
You'll be learning the ropes from seasoned professionals, likely assisting with documentation, getting to grips with customs procedures. It's all about soaking up knowledge and building a solid foundation.
So laying that groundwork and mastering the fundamentals, what kind of tasks might fill a typical day at this stage?
You might be processing import and export documents, coordinating with freight forwarders,
Okay.
maybe even helping with the customs clearance process for shipments.
Right.
The hands-on learning experience that gives you a taste of all the moving parts in this dynamic field.
Got it. Paying those dues and proving your dedication. Now, what about the next rung on the ladder? What does a junior import-export specialist role entail?
So here's where you start taking on more responsibility, applying those skills you've been honing. You might find yourself managing documentation for entire shipments, coordinating with suppliers,
Okay.
and even getting involved in those crucial negotiations.
So it's a chance to step up, prove your capabilities, and start making a real impact. What comes next in this career progression?
The intermediate import-export specialist stage is where you really start to shine. You're not just executing tasks, you're overseeing entire import-export processes from start to finish. You're ensuring compliance with those ever-changing regulations, nurturing relationships with suppliers, and even mentoring those junior specialists who are just starting their journey.
Okay, so leadership skills are coming into play, and you're becoming a go-to expert. What does the pinnacle of this career path look like?
So the senior import-export specialist is the maestro of the orchestra. They're leading teams, they're developing strategies, negotiating complex international contracts,
Right.
and always looking for ways to improve those operational processes.
Wow.
They've got a deep understanding of the industry and a passion for driving success.
So quite the journey, but it's clear that continuous learning is essential throughout each stage.
Oh, absolutely. The import-export landscape is constantly shifting with new regulations, technologies, and trends emerging all the time.
Right.
The guide highlights workshops, online courses, industry certifications. Anything that keeps you ahead of the curve is invaluable.
And, of course, networking is key, building those relationships with suppliers, customers, industry experts.
Yeah.
It's all about creating opportunities and expanding your horizons.
Exactly. Don't underestimate the power of attending industry events, joining professional organizations, or even connecting with people online. You never know where those connections might lead.
So it's a blend of hands-on experience, continuous learning, and strategic networking that fuels a successful career in this field. Now, before we wrap up, let's circle back to RoleCatcher's AI features. How can those help aspiring import-export specialists navigate their career path?
So RoleCatcher can be a real game changer. It can analyze your skills and experience and suggest relevant job openings, courses, or even networking opportunities that align with your goals. It's like having a personalized career advisor in your pocket, helping you make informed decisions and chart a course for success.
That's an incredible resource. So it's not just about landing that first job. It's about crafting a fulfilling and lasting career in this exciting field. We've covered a lot of ground today, from interview prep to career progression. But before we sign off, I want to leave our listeners with one final thought.
Okay.
The guide mentions the pros and cons of this career path.
Yeah.
What's one thing aspiring import-export specialists should be prepared for?
Okay, so this career path offers incredible opportunities, but it's not without its challenges. The guide highlights the potential for international travel, which can be thrilling,
Right.
but it also mentions that this role can be demanding with tight deadlines and those ever-changing regulations we talked about. It's not always smooth sailing, but if you're someone who thrives in a fast-paced, challenging environment, this can be an incredibly rewarding journey.
That's a great point. So if you're passionate about global trade, enjoy problem solving, and love the thrill of navigating the complexities of international business, then a career as an import-export specialist might be your perfect fit. Remember, thorough preparation is key, and with the insights we've shared today and the power of tools like RoleCatcher, you'll be well on your way to success.
Good luck with your interview, and remember, the world of import-export is waiting for you.